What's up, everybody? I'm Stan, and welcome to Detail Comics, where we go over comics in detail. This is iRate Reviews, the show where I go over a comic book, its story, its art, give you my impressions, and let you know whether it's something to go back to the comic book shop for or not. So make sure you subscribe to get more of these every week. Also, make sure you subscribe to be entered into the contest to win Batman White Knight #1, signed by Sean Gordon Murphy. The drawing for that is on October 31st, so make sure that you subscribe, and then make sure that your subscriptions are made public, so that way I can see you on the list. But let's just dive right into Flash number 33. So Flash number 33 is tying into Dark Knight's Metal, and this is the Bats Out of Hell arc. So this is where we're going to see members of the Justice League going up against members of this Dark Knight's squadron, essentially this evil Justice League commanded by a Joker Batman. So where we kind of see things picking up is that we have Flash, we have Superman, and we have Steel currently at the Fortress of Solitude next to the Anti-Monitor's tuning fork kind of thing, and they're forcing Superman through the Phantom Zone and into the Dark Universe. So this is a strategy that kind of played out in Dark Knight's Metal number 3. And then as we kind of get to the end of this conflict, ultimately we see that there's so much nth metal resonating around them. The Anti-Monitor's tuning fork is like full power, and they're trying to maintain all this energy to keep the portal open for Superman and Batman. Of course, if they're trying to keep this portal open, they're also communicating with other members of the Justice League like Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, Aquaman, and they're trying to figure out exactly what kind of situation everybody is really in. You know, we get updates on the status of where everyone's going. First off, Wonder Woman's having a little bit of trouble where she is at the Rock of Eternity. Green Lantern is going to the home world of the Thanagarians, the true home world of Thanagar. And then we also have Aquaman, who's trying to, you know, he's willing to devastate and desecrate Atlantis' most secret of halls with Deathstroke, which is kind of crazy, and, you know, to kind of bring back this nth metal and bring about a cause for possible success, you know, like possible tools that are needed to succeed against Barbatos. Unfortunately, at that point in time, we also get a situation where boom tubes start opening up all over the place, and they all think that these are Cyborg, but in reality, it looks like they're Batman the Murder Machine that's kind of coming in to take these people and transport them to these various different places. And this is, you know, really unfortunate at this point in time because Flash and Steel are kind of faced with Batman the Murder Machine and Batman the Devastator, who we haven't seen in his own one-shot yet. But this is a combination of, you know, Doomsday's strength with Batman's cunning. So he just, you know, he's ready to kill Steel, you know, actually he's ready to kill the Flash because he's already dealt with a Steel in his own universe, and Batman the Murder Machine takes on the Man of Steel, who feels like he's just not important enough for him to deal with because there wasn't even one in his universe. So as, you know, they kind of take out Steel at this point in time, he's bound. Flash is ready to kind of jump at him, come, you know, full speed, and then ultimately he is banished into a boom tube as Devastator destroys the Anti-Monitor's kind of tuning fork and closes the portal to the Dark Multiverse. So now we're in a situation where, you know, Flash, who's been trapped and tricked to go into this situation, he ends up back in his hometown. He sees Iris, he sees Wally, and everybody is decimated and devastated, and it feels like the life force is just being sucked out of them by the Dark Multiverse until the ground caves out from underneath him, and he finds himself in the dark. And that's when Cyborg kind of patches back in. And we find that the Justice League members are in their own individual bat caves that have really been catered to them by these individual Dark Knight Batmen. So, you know, we have the Flash and the Red Death's kind of environ. We have Wonder Woman in the Merciless' kind of environ. We have the Drowned taking on Aquaman, and then we have Green Lantern with the Dawnbreaker. So all these different places are broken up into these different spheres, and this is where we kind of conclude this story, showing that there's going to be a massive conflict over the next 3 issues to complete this story arc. So what we get in the Flash number 33 isn't necessarily the conflict that's really promised by this connecting cover by Ethan Van Sciver. What it is it's really a setup to these other conflicts that are going to be happening and moving forward. So while we see the closure, we realize that we need Superman and Batman to come back in a very different manner, which is probably going to happen in Dark Knight's Metal number 4. However, in order for this whole plan to succeed, in order to gain the nth metal, we really need to see these Justice League members take on these members of the Dark Knights and succeed. You know, they need to win. You know, Flash needs to beat the Red Death. Wonder Woman needs to beat the Merciless. We have to have the Dawnbreaker be devastated by the Green Lantern, you know, have Willpower's brightness shine through the darkness. And then, of course, Aquaman needs to beat the Drowned and save, you know, Amnesty Bay. So this is where we kind of get the jumping off point for where this tie-in is going to be going. And I already feel like it's going to be a little bit better than the Gotham Resistance that crossover with Teen Titans, Suicide Squad, Green Arrow. I mean, it just feels like you've got a bit more of that superstar presence, and I really like the way that everything's kind of set up. As far as the art, Howard Porter's doing a fantastic job on the Flash, and I really like the way that these character designs are really happening in terms of this book. It's really a great representation of these individual characters, and I can't wait to see as things kind of evolve. We're going to be getting transitioning art styles, so this is the last time we're going to see Mr. Porter on these characters, but I want to see how everything carries forward into the other books. We do have 2 Justice League titles that are going to be tying in, as well as Hal Jordan and the Green Lanterns, Hal Jordan and the Green Lantern Corps. So those are 2 other books that you're going to need to pick up in order to get everything out of Bats Out of Hell in, parts 1 through 4. So overall, I would definitely recommend it if you're following along with DC Metal. Dark Knight's Metal is a big event, so if you want to be a completionist and understand everything that's going on in the story, it's a must-buy. If you're a Flash fan, it's a detour compared to the whole Black Hole incident as well as the negative Speed Force that's really going on, so you can't really say that it's falling into the same continuity. It's more of like slightly derailing the story until they get back onto it in the next issue, but overall, I still think that it's really enjoyable for people. Definitely a recommendation for me, something you should pick up if you have any kind of interest in DC's Dark Knight's Metal event, or just, a fun little Flash story that sets up something much bigger. But those are my comments and those are my ideas, my thoughts on Flash number 33, but I want to know what you guys think too, so hit me up in the comments down below so that way we can start that conversation. As always, if you like what you see, hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe to get more news, reviews, and commentary on comic books, comic book movies, comic book TV shows and games, and anything and everything inside the world of comics.